guys, how are you? Welcome to the Pure Motivation Podcast Show. I'm your host, Dimitri Giankoulas, and today I'm going to be taking you through one of the most important lessons I think anybody out there, man, woman, student, child, whoever it may be, can use in their life when it comes to succeeding, when it comes to achieving the goals you want to achieve, and when it comes to also having less stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. Now, I know that a lot of people, when it comes to actually beginning a fitness program, find it overwhelming. It's the same type of overwhelm you have when you want to start dating, when you want to go to school, when you want to purchase a brand new home, when you want to purchase a car. We have overwhelm. And overwhelm and anxiety is just basically anticipation of the future. And when you anticipate things in the future that you have no control over, you get nervous, it's a natural reaction. And one big thing that I've seen that happens on a regular basis when it comes to me helping someone trying to start a fitness program. If I'm speaking to men over the phone, men over 40 that want to start a fitness program and want to become healthier and want to become the proper dads that they envision themselves for, even with women in our studio, that we often find excuses to cover up on the areas in our life that we don't have control over. And if you're trying to add fitness into your lifestyle, if you're trying to add, exercise, food preparation, time with the family, time with the kids, if you're trying to add all that into your schedule and you want to make sure that you don't miss your workouts and you don't miss the important things, without proper allocation of time, you will fail. Hands down, there's no way around it. You'll start a program, you may do very well for the first few weeks, maybe a month or two, but without a proper time management, you will struggle. And with all the coaches that I've met over the last 15, 20 years, while running my fitness club and while working with clients online, the biggest thing that I personally have found struggle with, because I'm human, just like you, I'm not perfect, is organizing my weekly schedule. And I know that organizing the weekly schedule can change because as an entrepreneur, speaking from experience, things aren't black and white. You don't have, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna finish my shift, I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna do my workout. It doesn't work like that. Something's gonna break in the club. You're gonna have staff that don't show up. You may have someone that gets into an accident that's coming 2 hours late for a meeting. Things are gonna happen, okay? You may get stuck in traffic. And that's gonna throw off your day, your routine, and if you don't have it planned properly, it can, lead up to weeks and if anything, months of stress. And I remember when I look back to some of the most successful times in my life and how I actually was able to get through them, if I break it down and I think about it, one of the most, challenging times in my career was when I started high school and I got into, trying to become one of the best athletes in my high school. And I took 5 teams per year when the normal quota was to do 3 or 4 teams per year. And I tried to do 5. I wanted to be the only guy who could do 5 teams all year and get good grades. I remember how trying to manage, going to school in the morning, taking a bus, an hour to school, swimming in the morning for an hour. Before school even started, at 6 o'clock, you had to be in the pool. Training for an hour in the pool, showering, going back to class, smelling like chlorine because you swam every morning, having football, wrestling, rugby practice after school, showering for a second time in the day, taking the bus to go to the Keg restaurant where I worked as a busboy and then as a chef, and then after work, taking the bus back home, getting home around 11:30, 12, getting whatever homework I can get done and then starting it over again. Those were stressful times in my life. When I was competing and getting ready for bodybuilding shows during my college years for 9 years. Again, the stress appeared of how do you balance and how do you juggle a full-time job, a full-time school program, balancing, weighing, measuring your meals, competing, posing, memorizing routines, while still having time for Francesca, my wife now, and for my mom and my family and friends and my work. And then opening up a business, going through a few years of, the chaos of running a business. In 2014, we expanded our club and we took on an extra unit. and having to deal with all of the challenges of construction, labor, paying off trades, making sure things were handed into the city on time. Life builds, having a second child, life builds and adds stress. Starting an online business, or even when COVID kicked in and we shut down for 2 years, trying to rebuild our business from scratch. So coming from experience, I know just what it's like because I'm just like you and I deal with a lot of stresses. But one of the most important things that many of my coaches have taught me was how to configure or how to plan out and do a time audit on yourself. And in today's podcast, I'm going to actually take you through a time audit. I'm going to show you on the screen right next to me what a time audit would look like. I'm going to go through some of the 10 important areas that I feel are super important that every man, every woman, and I would stress that you share this podcast with your kids. If they're teenagers, let them get used to the habit of understanding what it's like to have proper time management. Because if you don't have proper time management, what will happen is chaos. And you will notice that you're always stressed out, you're always feeling like you have anxiety. When you go to bed, you feel depressed, you feel angry. And I'm telling you this because I've been there. And I still go through periods of my time right now where even though I have a massive schedule and a workload organized because I'm juggling an online training program for men over 40, and I still have my fitness facility that I've been running for 17 years with my wife and my team, life gets challenging, and especially when you have kids. Especially when the kids become teenagers and now you gotta spend time taking them to practice, preparing for them in their sports, helping them with recitals. What falls back? Your health and fitness. What falls back? Your time with your spouse. What falls back? Your time with planning. What gets hurt? What gets penalized? What gets eliminated? Your mindset, your motivation, your drive, your persistency, your desire. All of these amazing things that we have as adults that we should constantly look forward to in constructing, in conforming, in creating, and making it better as we get older. I hear the opposite. And I hear men and women, especially a lot of the men that I speak with, as soon as they get 40 or 35, 40 and kids, their business, their career takes over, they forget themselves. Their health takes the shit. They begin building up body fat in areas of their body that they should not have. They begin starting to look like they have pregnant boobs, saggy, droopy, tissue. They don't have the energy they used to have. They don't have the desire to make love to their spouse because they're constantly stressed out and they're not able to perform like they used to before they had kids, before they got married. So then that ties into stress with your marriage. And if you can see what I'm trying to paint the picture here is all of this challenge and this chaos can be cleared if you perform a time audit, okay? And a time audit is when you sit down and structure I believe it's 168 hours. So we got 24 hours in a day times 7, it's right, 168 hours in your week. What are you doing with your 168 hours each week? When I meet with clients and I begin to do a time audit, or when I meet with clients either here in the studio or online, and they're saying to me that their main struggle is time, their main struggle is having the ability to keep track and organize things. Once you sit down and do this very simple, easy exercise that I'm gonna run you through today, you're gonna recognize, holy crap, I have more time in my life. I actually have additional small gaps that I don't know what to do. And during those small gaps, I waste them mindlessly scrolling through social media, watching TV, binging on shitty foods that are not taking care of my health and my body for the type of look and feel that I want to have. Think about it. Do you want to go from 40 to 70 looking like a slob? Do you want to look like you're 10, 20 years older than you are? Do you not want to have the energy to perform and be able to run with your kids when they're teenagers and keep up with them? Heck, beat them in a race? I tell my 16-year-old, my 10-year-old, The day you can beat me in a 100-meter sprint is the day I'm gonna sit back and say, you know what, I'm getting older. And I'm 45 right now, and I can outperform 25-year-olds. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to boast. I'm saying this because I've tried to develop a lifestyle of personal growth. I've tried to develop a lifestyle of constantly seeking help to improve myself. And I'm the first person to say and admit I'm not perfect. And I can always improve on my time management skills. And I still do with my coach. I can always improve with my family time, with my time with my work, with my staff and my clients. But if you don't do a time audit, you're gonna be stuck. You're gonna see life as a challenge. And then what ends up happening is you start reprogramming or creating a story in your mind of maybe, you know what, I'm just big boned and I'm meant to be heavy. Maybe, you know, as a female, you think maybe it's okay, I've had 2 or 3 kids. It's okay if I'm 45 pounds overweight. I'm still carrying some of my baby weight. And you know what? I'm a mom now, right? Bullshit. It should not be like that. Moms and dads watching me right now, the number one thing you have in life as a priority is the priority to take care of you, yourself, and your health. First you, second your kids, third your spouse. I'm not saying that in the order because your spouse isn't important, but your spouse is an adult. Your spouse should be able to utilize their own time management skills and their own abilities to get themselves in tip-top shape and be organized. Your kids are younger than you. Your kids don't have the experience. Your kids don't have the knowledge. So first you, your kids or your parents, your spouse, and then everything else comes through that. When you're looking at performing a time audit, you're looking at going through 10 items, okay? If you look to, I'm gonna say to my left right now, I'm gonna put up the schedule that I have here, my laptop as well, that I'm gonna run you through. And this is an example of a time audit document. If you're interested in this document, message me back and I'll forward you. I'll even put a link at the bottom for a Google link that you can actually click on and utilize it. But when people often say they don't have time, the first thing I say to them is, do you have a schedule outlined for your week? 90% of them don't. They just say, you don't get my life. And when someone says, you don't get my life, I always often think that they're looking for excuses and they're looking for some form of sympathy so I can say, oh, it's okay, I get it. You have someone that's ill in your family, I get it. My wife is a type 1 diabetic, I get it. You have kids, I get it. I have kids too. You have a stressful, busy work, I get it. There's 2 companies that I'm trying to manage right now, and I have a gym that's open 7 days a week. A lot of entrepreneurs will go to work 9 to 5, shut their club down, their business down. A gym, a restaurant, any other type of business that's a brick and mortar that has people coming in daily is a 7-day-a-week operation. We close 2 days in a year, Christmas, and we close on New Year's Day. So what I'm trying to stress to you, what I'm trying to build up here is I'm trying to have a level playing ground. You should never feel that your lifestyle is more challenging than someone else because you never know what they're going through, okay? You may have an illness, someone else has a child that's dying. You may have real chaos at your work, another person's spouse cannot work because they got into a car accident and now they're in the hospital. You may have to take care of 2 parents that are elderly and that are sick. Another person lost their parents today in a car accident or something serious like that. So my mom always taught me, you're in the middle. Someone's better than you and someone's worse than you. And you gotta work that. And when she taught me this, I was 10 years old. And she told me this because at 10, I was able to have the competence and the ability and the maturity to understand that my dad's not gonna be around. My mom's a single parent. My dad took off for his own reasons, mental health issues, alcoholism, whatever it is, whatever it was. He was not there. So my mom had to keep me organized. And when I think back to the days when I was 10, from 10 to 15, my mom actually was the first person that instilled this schedule in my lifestyle, in my brother's lifestyle. because as a single mother that was working 9 to 5, then going to school in the evenings, and then raising 2 young, stubborn, bratty boys, she had to keep us in line. And if it wasn't for her forcing us to have this discipline, if it wasn't for her making sure that we had to follow these chores, and if the chores weren't finished, we couldn't go outside and play. And the punishment was, you're not going outside to play. You're not going to do your sports. My mom would punish me by not allowing me to go to my swim club when I was between the ages of 10 and 13. Every summers, there was a pool in our local area where we grew up. And we did grow up in a government housing area, but it did have a pool, a recreational pool for all the kids in the area that were either, single family parents, people living with disabilities, people with low income families. It's not the type of environment you want to bring up your children, but those days we did what we did. And she would punish me because in the summertime, for the whole summer, I would literally be a groupie and I would hang out at that pool and I would learn the butterfly stroke, the backstroke, and I would work as an apprentice. And while she was working, while my brother was, with his friends doing whatever, I was literally being babysat by lifeguards every year for 4 years, every summer, 3 months every summer. So to punish me when I never finished something on my today sheet, she would say I'm not able to go train, and that really bugged me. So I had to learn at a young age, follow the rules or this punishment. So let's break this down. Let's get into these 10 items that I think are gonna really, really help you out, and we'll go through them one by one. So if you can see on this diagram here, on the left of me, to you it's gonna be to the right of you, you're gonna look at your week. You got Monday to Sunday, okay? And throughout your week, you need to be very realistic with your time. Now, a lot of people wake up at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, start their day, run it. As you get older and you get kids, or you have a business, or you're involved in managing people, and you have a high profile position, you know that your timing and your wake up time needs to be earlier. So on this document right here, I've put from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night. And if you go across on this Excel diagram, you're gonna see that every hour is outlined of what you should do. Now, this may look different from me, to you, to your spouse, to your kids, but if you can understand the concept and design something like this, I guarantee you will have happiness in your life. You'll have less stress. You'll have more of the vision you want to create because you have organization. Now, it doesn't mean it's gonna be perfect, but at least you can map out what you want to do. And if there's a problem that's getting in the way, you can kind of see if this is a pattern. Well, I try to work out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I constantly get disrupted for my kids, so maybe I'll move to 6 a.m. Okay? So first and foremost, you need a planning time. And if you look at my planning time, I try to do it before the kids wake up, before I get to do any type of work. I put between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. Planning time is where you're gonna sit down by yourself. No phones, no social media, nothing to distract you, especially for someone like myself that's got a high attention, disorder issue where the smallest notification, sound, music, my kids waking up is gonna throw me off. During this planning time, you wanna plan out what you have planned for the day, what you have planned for the week, and are you able to put down your 90-day goal? I don't think humans should plan more than 90 days because too much can happen and we have no control over, economic issues, climate issues, health issues with our family, employment issues. So you look at 90 days, say 90 days, what do I want to accomplish? You pick 3 goals. So for me, it's improving my deliverables for my members, okay? What we actually provide them. Number 2, it's creating good content, educational content that I can provide to my clients so they can learn and they can develop well. And the third one for myself is constantly improving my staff, my team, and my business. Those are my 3 goals, major goals, my business goals, okay? So during that time, you're gonna work on that time. But as you can see in this example that I put here, you got 6 a.m., 7 a.m., it's color coordinated as a pink time. You go down to 10 p.m. as well at night, planning time. You should always have one portion of your evening, whether it's half an hour, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, where you can start to wind down and you can start planning and looking through your next day's schedule. If you're not looking at what you have planned for the next day at nighttime, you will wake up in distress, you will wake up reactive, you will wake up stressed because you don't know what to do. And then things start popping up. Phone call, text messages, emergencies. Now you're behind the 8 ball. Now you're stressed out. Now you're worried. Now you're not performing your best. Your blood pressure's higher. And guess what, guys? If you're overweight right now and your resting heart rate's already high, it's gonna be even higher. You're not gonna be healthy. So number 1, set your planning time. Number 2, organize your exercise time, okay? Notice how I didn't say organize your work time. I put in yellow here, for example, you got someone training at 6 a.m. on one day, then they're not training on Tuesday. Wednesday, it's gonna be at nighttime at 7 p.m. Thursday at lunchtime at 1 p.m. Saturday morning at 7 a.m. and then Sundays I have here at 7 p.m. Okay, and this is just giving you the ability to tell your wife, your kids, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever it may be, guys, I'm gonna work out at this time. I'm blocking it off. Please make sure you don't interrupt me because I really need this for myself. Okay, especially if it's with people that you feel that are gonna get in the way and they don't understand, like your kids, you gotta block it off. So plan for weight training time. Whether it's in the gym, your basement, at home, I don't care where you do it, block off your workout time. So you don't have to have the excuse as a grown man saying you don't have time. It's unbelievable when people say they don't have time. I say you don't have time management because guess what? You probably do have time to watch the news at nighttime, to watch the TV show, to spend time on your phone, to spend time catching up with the football game, the baseball game, your golf game. There's all this bullshit stuff that gets in the way. You have 45 minutes to take care of your body because if you don't value your body. And if you have an expensive car, shame on you. If you have a big, beautiful home, shame on you. If you're redoing your home, your kitchen, you're renovating your home, which I feel how a lot of people put their priorities in different perspective, you put time and effort into hiring contractors, saving money, going to the bank, mortgaging, looking at homes, buying expensive clothing, cars, trips. But you don't have 45 minutes to work on chopping off fat that's building up on your body, that's building up in your internal organs? Come on, guys. So plan out your exercise time, then you have your work time. I put in blue here. For some people, it's 9 to 5. For some people, it may be shift work. You may have morning, evening. For some people who are entrepreneurs, and I remember my first year starting out, and even sometimes now, you're constantly working. But you can't leave that as an excuse. You can't say, well, I own my own business, so I work all day. Wrong. You should be able to have specific hours of block work time that you do. And then if you're gonna work at nighttime, like myself, I don't sometimes have the luxury of having a massive team to be able to provide me all the additional items that I need. So when the kids are done eating dinner, we've watched a movie, or if I got half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour at the evening time, I like catching up with some emails. I like planning and forecasting. What am I gonna do for content? When's the next event for my members? What emails can I send out to my people? So I call that work time. Which people require payments to be set up, okay? So that can be in the evening time. But if you don't own your own business and you don't have to work in managing other people, damn it, you have 8 hours a day. If you have 10 hours a day, or if you work 2 shifts, block it on the scheduler. Do a time audit. I have a morning job and I have an evening job. I have a morning job, then I go to school in the evening. Block it off so you can actually see it. Then we're gonna look at walking time, okay? Walking time is almost like meditation time. I've met so many men that I speak to that when I mention to them, hey man, do you have like a morning routine? They will automatically brush it off and be like, come on bro, like I'm not into that yin yang stuff. I'm not gonna, I'm a tradesperson. I'm a stock market guy. I own my business. I'm not gonna wake up and I'm not gonna do meditation or gratitude journals. I'm not gonna do that. Fine, then go for a walk. Get your steps in, damn it. If it's gonna be in the morning, 20-minute walk, block it in your schedule. Block it in your phone with a reminder. Put in the evening. Type in your phone, reminder for evening walk. Put 2 reminders if you have to tell you to get off your ass and go for the walk, because if you're not even walking at nighttime, especially after dinner where you may have consumed more food, You got no movement. You're glued to your bloody chair. You wake up sitting down eating breakfast. You drive to work sitting down. You sit at work when you're doing work, unless you have a standing desk. Chances are you're gonna be sitting down. You sit down eating lunch. You sit down driving back home. You sit down with your family. And how much sitting are we gonna be doing in a day? You need to walk and get your body moving. If it's not blocked in here, it's not gonna happen, okay? Then you wanna have driving time. Be realistic. Block off the times that you're driving to work. You're driving your kids to practice. I take my son to judo, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. My daughter does Thai boxing on the other 2 days, right? If I'm taking them to school in the morning, I really enjoy having that little bit of time with me and my daughter when I'm driving her to school, my son. I know that I could easily have my wife do it, 5 times a week. Or we could put them on a school bus, no problem, to their high school, to their elementary school. But I know I'm never gonna get those times back. I'm never gonna get to talk to my daughter during her 14 to 18-year-old period. And that is super important to me as a father, one of my core values. So I'm gonna block that time in as driving time, so I know that I've lost that time in my schedule, okay? Now, eating time. How many people block in when they're gonna eat? How many people block in a reminder for a snack, even if it's 3 vegetables and a dip? How many people block off, it's lunchtime, stop what you're doing and eat lunch? A lot of people don't. And then they get caught up saying, I'm too busy working. You don't respect your body. And the pitiful thing is, it almost takes some type of disaster, some type of accident, some type of disease, some type of syndrome, metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, your ankle, knee pain, low back pain. It almost takes God to wake you up and say, hey, your body's breaking down. Take care of it. If you're too busy and you have a serious job that requires you to be seated for 8 hours, then go on your bloody phone and order your meals and have them come at a specific time where you can eat and work if you have to. But you have to block your eating times as well, because those are specific points in your day that you gotta block. If you don't, you'll go appointment. You'll be seeing clients, talking to clients on the phone, seeing clients on Zoom videos, and then guess what? 5 hours have gone by, you haven't eaten. You're an endomorphic body type, mesomorphic body type, you got slower metabolism, you're carrying an excess of 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds of body fat. Well, guess what? It ain't gonna get any better. You're just gonna compound into a negative snowball. And it breaks my heart when I meet people that hide behind the illusion and the mask and the fake mirror of the excuses. Because we all have 24 hours in a day. How are we budgeting them? Okay? Next, we go into family time, which in our home and household, we make it a non-negotiable. Dinner time, we eat together. There's no, oh, mom, I want to eat in my room. We eat together. We have breakfast together, especially on the weekends. During the weekends, we have movie night where we watch TV, we watch a movie together as a family. We want to make sure we do things together as a family. Especially if you got little kids where you got to kind of separate the ability of the communication level. So my daughter's 16, there's daughter-daddy time that I got to do with her. Different things that I would do with my son who's 10. Different things that you would do if you have a toddler, right? You want to, play some toys with them. You want to play some games, maybe read a book to them. You want to spend some time. If you have an older, child in their 20s, you want to sit down with them, go for a coffee, talk. How's school? How's work? How's your relationship going? Are you saving money? How's work going? Do you need any help? So you got to block off that family time, and family time can be partially from dinner. I think the most important one is dinner, and then right after dinner, because that's where you want to go through and speak to your kids and find out how their day is going. How's school? What's the 2 best things that happened to you today? What are your 2 wins, and what are your 2 areas that you feel like you never had a good day about? Talk to your kids about this so they can get used to understanding that in a shitty day, there's always something positive that you can talk about or look forward to, and something negative, right? Food prep. You see food prep on this list here, it's put in twice a week. It's put in Sundays and Wednesdays. It's 2 hours. Now for us, it takes an hour and a half, sometimes an hour. And if you're lazy, you're tired, you go away on the weekend, you come back late, you can always order some food in and get in bulk. But for those of you starting off who are trying to lose body fat, trying to eat healthier, trying to meet your daily calorie protein needs, Those of you who have kids that are overweight, if you're not fully overweight or obese, but your child is, and I've seen kids literally in the dollar store, when I'm in line at the gas station, at my kids' school that are obese, 10, 11, 12 years old, little boys looking pregnant, little boys having tummies and pointy boobs. Yes, I get it, kids can be overweight when they're younger to a certain degree, but that's gonna build up a negative mindset and negative consequential behavioral habits. So make time for food prep and get your bloody kids involved. Get your kids learning. My son's 10. And every night, his job is to set the table. Milena's job is to help with cooking and making the salad. When it's done, he got to do the dishwasher. Milena helps out with dishes. Non-negotiable. If they're tired and they want to watch some TV or play some games, hey, it's 11:30, Milena, you've never done your chore yet. You gotta instill these in kids. You can't teach a child when they're 20 to do a time audit sheet if you've never started it with yourself or if you never showed it to them at a young age. So food prep is super important, almost one of the most important aspects of health and fitness, because where does everyone fall short on? Is it the walking? No. Is it the working out? Not so much, because you can bang out a workout at home, watching a YouTube video, ride your bike. Working out is easier. It's the food prep. It's the, honey, I just got home, I'm tired, she's stressed out, dealing with the kids or with her own job. It's 7:30, what are we gonna eat? Oh, damn it, let's order out. Damn, you know what? Let's make a plate of pasta. No, you should have a container in your fridge that you can open up on Monday and Tuesday that has 6 chicken breasts left in there, some salmon, some boiled eggs, a tuna mix with mayonnaise and some hummus. You should have some pre-cooked wraps. You should have some vegetables that have been pre-washed so your kids can just grab them if they're hungry versus grabbing chips or granola bars, right? Then I have spouse and date night, okay? This is probably one of the hardest ones for me to be perfect on. And if my wife, she's probably gonna watch this, is probably gonna be like, there you go. You gotta be honest in a minute. And the reason why I say this is because when it comes to date night, or when it comes to keeping track of the time management with your family, we often will think that my wife's okay, she'll understand. We're busy this week. Oh, we have to do this. You know what, my husband's okay, he'll get it. I've been stressed out with the kids, it's okay if we don't go to date night this week, and if we don't have an extra sex night, hey, if you have to plan it out, plan out a romantic sexual evening if you have to. If you feel your intimacy is lacking, if you feel that your bedroom life is not as spontaneous as it was, then guess what? Fix it. Because if not, your marriage will deteriorate. It's a super improving fact. So spend time for date night. It could be anything from a coffee, from a walk, to a dinner, to a dance, to doing something specific, teaching your spouse to, go skateboarding, ride a bike, do a different sport. Doesn't matter what it is. Have that time alone. And if you don't have that time alone, then, apologize for missing that time and make up for it. Make up somewhere during the week. And then lastly, I have a shutdown time. And shutdown time is something that I have 2 alarms every night that I set. And even if I'm not perfect, I may not be in bed by 11 p.m. I may start my wind down process at 10:15, 10:30. I like to read at nighttime so I can slowly get tired, because I'm very wired. For me to cool down, it's impossible, because I'm always thinking about what I gotta do the next day, the club, the members, getting results. Running a fitness business or running any type of business where you're coaching clients is always difficult, because you're always trying to help people. Selling a product is different, right? I sell cameras, I sell shoes, I sell t-shirts, I sell widgets, whatever it is. You sell it, people take it, they use it, you'll have a percentage of your business that has to deal with customer service, returns, but they bought the product. Someone that sells a home for $5 million, does all that work, they sell the home, it's done, they don't gotta deal with it. When you're dealing in a coaching business, someone trying to lose weight, someone trying to learn how to sell properly, someone trying to improve their business, their relationship skills, you're constantly having to pour into that person, into that amount of clients. So you have to constantly be on your toes and coming up with different things for them. So you need a shutdown time. I have an alarm that goes off around 10:30 saying, hey, it's time to start shutting down. I have another one that goes off at 11 that says you should be reading. And I have another one at 11:30 and then one at midnight which says go to bed. It's forcing me and reminding me, because if not, I will literally get excited and work until midnight, 1 a.m. in the morning. Why? Not because I'm unorganized, but because I have such a distractive work environment where I don't have a business that I go to and I only deal with my employees and no one else. I love those jobs. I wish I could have a company that I go to, I deal with my team, I have big meetings in boardrooms, and that's it. But I run a full-time fitness studio. I have online coaching clients. So there's always interruptions. There's always members coming in. There's always people needing stuff. There's always supplies needed. So at nighttime, 10:30, 11, it's quiet. The kids are in bed. I can sit down and I can really be creative. I can sit down and I can not have to worry about answering a phone, answering a text message. I can really wind down. So for some of you, you may have your planning time between 10:30 and 1 a.m. in the morning. Fine. Then book your proper sleep time so you're not going to be too tired the next day. Book your workouts in the evening if you need to. Book them in the morning. Heck, book them at lunchtime. Book a 35-minute workout at home. Hire a coach. Contact me if you're stuck and I can show you workouts that are 20, 30 minutes long that will destroy you and make you feel like you've been challenged. But have a 35-minute workout, 15-minute shower, 5-minute shake. Get your stuff done in an hour, okay? But if you've never tried following this type of weekly schedule, and if you've never done a time audit, I guarantee you life will be challenging, life will be stressful, you may not win in the areas that you want, and what's going to end up happening is you're going to build up this negative spiral of anger because you want things, you can't achieve them. And as Tony Robbins says, the goal, the purpose, or the type of surroundings needed to make human beings happy and feeling that they're getting success in life from the hundreds of thousands of people he's worked with, from the hundreds of thousands of people that any type of professional personal development coach talks about, it's progress. We need to be making progress. We need to be making progress with our personal lives, in our relationships, in our work, with our kids, with our finances, with our time management. If you're not making progress in your life, you're regressing. It's either you're growing or you're decaying. Remember that. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I really hope you took it and you understand that I'm coming to you from a point of being open and honest. I'm coming to you from a point of transparency, that I'm not perfect, but I have mastered the art of embedding fitness in my lifestyle. Don't say it's because I'm a coach. Don't say it's because I'm a gym owner, because for all the gym owners out there watching, and I would love to get people to message me back if you own a gym or own a restaurant or you own a business that deals with the public. Sometimes you don't want to eat, train, work there because you're here all day. I'm dealing with issues in the gym, clients, problems. So if I'm in a club all day for 8, 9, 10 hours, you don't feel the drive or the desire to pop into a workout, because you may know that as the owner, when you walk on the floor, people may be doing something wrong and you're like, I can't see that guy doing the exercise wrong. I'm gonna correct him. Or someone may come up to me and ask me a question. Or if you own a restaurant and you've been working for 8 hours, managing, dealing with putting out fires, you don't want to eat dinner where you've been working all day, if you're a chef especially. So understand through full transparency, doesn't matter that I'm a gym owner. I choose to create a lifestyle, a schedule, and priorities in my life. If your priorities is to get rid of this and to burn this nasty, disease-oriented tissue substance on your body, if that's your goal, follow the time audit. Make a time audit schedule. Send me back a message in the comments. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you are struggling with. I want to hear back from you in terms of if this has helped you. If it did help you, please do me a favor. Share this podcast with anybody you know that it can help, because the only way that we can get reciprocal love is when you share our content and you share what we're trying to provide. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if this has impacted you. Because at the end of the day, I get excitement from the messages and the comments that you leave, letting me know how you felt. And then, as always, when it comes to health and fitness, remember, attitude is everything. Enjoy the podcast, enjoy your day, and don't forget to try this time Audit out. Peace.